Well, hello everybody. This is Joe Hakos here. And this is the Conservative Syndicate. Hey, John is out there. He's really out there. He's on vacation, so we wish him and his wife safe journeys here. Again, this is Joe Hakos here in the Conservative Syndicate. I'm running solo for a while, so hang on tight. Things could get a little bumpy and rough here, but we will just soldier on. So, and while we're here, in John's absence, and we'll try to do right by the Mad Prophet here. Just one thing I'd like to wish our well wishes to both H.W. Bush, 41st president, and his wife Barbara Bush. They're both not feeling good, so we want them to go ahead and get well. We do wish the Bushes well here. I know we don't always agree with them, but we are going to wish them well. So that being said, hey, tonight on the Conservative Syndicate, we're going to try to maybe discuss some of Obama's commutations today. Maybe get in a little Maxine Waters, and maybe if we can, get to it. Maybe a little Obama press conference, his final one, and maybe the Ministry of Truth. So we're glad you're out there listening. Please, we appreciate yourself. So let's get the show started.
I think the big problem this country has is being politically correct. I've been challenged by so many people, and I don't frankly have time for total political correctness. And to be honest with you, this country doesn't have time either.
Yes, political correctness is out. American exceptionalism is back, ready to re-empower our republic as one nation under God by restoring our unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, with your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet, baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your hosts of the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Well, hey. Joe Hakos here. Let me run this board here. Let me turn this down just a little bit. Welcome, everybody, to the Conservative Syndicate once again. Joe Hakos here. John Matthews, as I stated before, John is out and about. He's probably fairly jet-lagged right about now, I would imagine. And so, but we wish him safe travels, and him and his wife, while they go out of the country and enjoy themselves, visiting friends and family while they're gone. So that's it, and we get to enjoy each other without John being around. So this is going to be a lot of fun for us here. As I am out here, I'm trying to run everything together. So if I seem discombobulated at times, hey, just kind of keep it in mind. I'm doing the best I can with the two hands I have. So, but that being said, I hope everybody's out there doing well. It's a wonderful, let's see. Yes, it is a Wednesday, and we are, hold on. Let me see. Oh, I got this right here. I know I have it here. Oh my, where's it at? I'm trying to find that little thing. There it is. We have, according to the Obama out-of-office countdown clock, we have 1 day, 17 hours, 55 minutes, and 15 seconds until Barack Obama finally is out of office. I'm going to be celebrating that day like nobody's business. I am so looking forward to that. Been looking forward to it for, better part of 8 years. And I can remember, Yesterday, we talked about the Washington Times Post article where organization in California is giving out, is trying to hire people to disrupt Donald Trump's inauguration, and they're calling themselves grassroots. I mean, they want to pay people put them on $2,500 retainers and paying up to $50 an hour if they go to like 6 events throughout the year. It's like, really, and they're going to call this grassroots. They call this I can remember vividly tax day in 2010. It had been April 15, 2010. I can remember the first Tea Party event that was conducted here in my local county here. And there was just people together. I mean, American flags, this and that. They're in front of the main post office here. And just people just walking the street. Nobody's shutting down anything. Nobody's throwing anything at anybody, at any cars. Nobody's blocking traffic. People are waving the cars are beeping. I mean, we had a few Barack Obama supporters, and they just kind of looked at us funny. I was like, "What's this going on?" Because nobody had ever seen anything like this before. I mean, let's face it, it was truly AstroTurf at the time. Well, not AstroTurf. It's truly grassroots. Nancy Pelosi's the one that would dub it AstroTurf, and AstroTurf is more of what I would say our friends in San Francisco are trying to pull off. When you got to pay people to go protest, it's not really grassroots now, is it? So to think they would call that grassroots. I mean, but yeah, it was absolutely grassroots. And again, one of the major things that the Tea Party, it was taxed enough already, and a perfect day was again tax day, and that was the first event I can recall in my local area. And you can probably think back that 6 years ago. You could probably think about some of the things that were happening back then. I mean, looking back upon it, and Barack Obama today giving quote unquote his final news conference, and I saw a little bit of it. I got one clip. I want to go ahead and maybe tie in something else here with this clip. But, the press there looked really, really, it's like, oh, just forlorn. It was like, oh, my goodness, forlorn is putting it mildly. So it's kind of like, so I'm going to quite enjoy watching the press somehow, some way, not be able to figure out what they're going to do with Donald Trump and their savior, Barack Obama, is not going to be conducting White House press briefings, and the Mr. Ernest, what a funny name for God it's not, conducting press briefings in the White House press room. It just funny and funny. Oh, so just move on a little bit here. Before we get to our first break, I want to go ahead. Our friend, Mr. Michael Smith, and I'm sure if you've been a friend of the show, Mr. Smith's been on here before. So I check, and he's fairly prolific at writing. So Mr. Smith penned a little nugget on Facebook, and it's dealing with our friend John Lewis, who decided that he will not go to not Barack Obama. They won't go to Donald Trump's inauguration. He said, for the first time, I'm not going to go to an inauguration, which is, no, John, you've missed other inauguration ceremonies too. So, but you want to make this one seem special. So that's okay. You can make it seem special. But Mr. Michael Smith, penned this little ditty about the whole situation here with Mr. Lewis. So I just kind of read this a little bit here. So Mr. Smith goes, enough about civil rights icon, formerly known as John Lewis. This isn't about him. It hasn't been about civil rights for 50 years. Let me explain what I mean before the progressive left starts attacking me for being a racist, for having the temerity to question St. John of Edmund Pettus Bridge. The Edmund Pettus Bridge is where the Democrats that were in power at the time decided to take out their vengeance on the marchers going to Selma and Civil Rights March. And so, yeah. So John was there, and we understand, and we, and you know what? We congratulate him, and we're happy that he was there, and we're happy that he did what he did back then. But again, as Mr. Smith said, this ain't about that anymore. Congressman Lewis risked his life and limb to get rid of Jim Crow laws, also created by Democrats. There can be no doubt that he did do that. For opposing that tyranny on behalf of his people, black Americans, and getting his skull cracked in the process, he should be celebrated just as we celebrate our founding fathers for breaking free of the tyranny of King George. But the similarities stop there. Lewis and his compatriots, including Dr. King, won their battle against authoritarian state, controlled primarily by the party he's a member of today, the Democrats, through using techniques pioneered by socialists and communists, where the founding fathers drew people to their cause by promising liberty and individual freedom from controlling state thousands of miles away. The civil rights movement was about getting a controlling state to carve out special protections for certain protected groups as a means of resolving temporary inequalities that existed. They existed, but it was in law that they shouldn't have existed. The Constitution took care of that already. But no, we had Democrats that refused to accept it. Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? Sounds real familiar. But I will move on in Mr. Smith's little piece here. Rather than just stopping the actions of Jim Crow governments, the civil rights movement promised economic and social retribution against the perpetrators. And I will not argue that there wasn't a need for punishment. But what actually happened was a waste of 50 years and $22 trillion and the establishment of a never-ending welfare state. Think about it. Never-ending welfare state. The perpetual civil rights struggle shares much in common with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Neither are about statehood, independence, or self-determination anymore, if they were ever. They were about one of the parties to the conflict being eliminated. I can state without fear of contradiction, given the ground rules established in the 50-year fight against racism and poverty, while whites in America can never win. Kind of think about that one. I often wonder if what Netanyahu said about the Arabs applies to the racial strife in America. Bibi said, if Arabs put down their weapons today, there would be no more violence. If the Jews put down their weapons today, there would be no more Israel. Of course, I don't mean to imply or infer that blacks want to kill whites or vice versa. Netanyahu's statement just condenses the entire Israeli-Palestinian conflict into two succinct sentences, and it is an insoluble solution that seems to mirror our own. Netanyahu's remarks imply that if antagonistic Palestinians would just stop fighting long enough to look around, what they profess to want is well within their grasp. Their enemies would no longer be their enemies, and there would be peace. One wonders if the same realization could not be experienced by blacks in America. I also think that the fact that the heartthrob of every American petite communist, Comrade Che Guevara, visited the Gaza Strip in 1959, shortly after he and Fidel rocked the house down in old Havana. What could atheist Castro called it sectarianism, Cuban communists, and the Arab Muslim communists possibly have in common, one might ask? I just can't figure that one out. But communism springs to mind. I said it about Trump months ago. It matters how you win. The civil rights The civil rights were won, but the concepts behind the win were collectivist, socialism, and communism. It matters that Lewis and his fellow civil rights icons, quote unquote, allied themselves with the folks like Che and the venerable heroes like Eugene Debs, John Dewey, Paul Robeson, and Saul Alinsky. The problem with using authoritarian techniques to bring down authoritarianism is that sooner or later you'll turn into an authoritarian. That is the biggest problem I have with Trump, and I've said it before as well. Right-wing authoritarianism is just as evil as left-wing authoritarianism. If 50 years later, the civil rights battle was clearly won and there is no reason to keep fighting, then why keep fighting? The answer to that is, quote, because it isn't about civil rights any longer. Civil rights, quote unquote, is just window dressing. It's about fighting for socialism and communism. Mr. Michael Smith, just a couple days ago. Thank you, Mr. Smith. We do appreciate you giving us some more of your words and plenty of stuff to think about. We do appreciate that. And I've gone way past the time for a break. Good thing I'm running the board, and I can only blame myself today. All right, we're going to go take a break. This is the Conservative Syndicate with Joe Hakos here, running the show. We'll be right back after the break, folks.
We're not arguing. We're explaining why we're right. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you have been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
And now back to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, the Conservative Syndicate. Hey, thanks for being out there, folks. We do appreciate everybody out there. Remember, Conservative Syndicate, we're here to engage you and educate you and try to get you involved in things and make sure that you kind of understand what's going on out there when you see it. So make sure you can recognize what's going on with our press folks and everything, because Lord knows if you watch that press conference today, the press it's a piece of work, folks. It really is. And what we saw this past summer, this whole election season, especially with the press colluding with the Democrats' candidate, Hillary Clinton, on many things. I mean, to have the press be invited to go to Hillary Clinton's campaign chief, John Podesta, to go over his house and hang out for a while. Yeah, I'm sure they were just talking about, golf and the baseball season and maybe the upcoming NFL season. I'm sure they weren't talking about hockey because nobody talks about that. But yeah, the press, it really does annoy me when I see them and they act the way they were today in front of just swooning and listen to Barack Obama. Hey, just a little bit, a little primer here. Well, I'm going to read a little bit from Barack Obama's Rules for Revolution, the Alinsky Model, and this is you can get this book online actually, and it's by David Horowitz. And just let me read a little bit here. This is going to be, and you'll see where I'm going with this. This is Barack Obama's Rules for Revolution, the Alinsky Model, and remember this. We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America. Remember that? Yeah, Barack Obama, 2008. Still gives me chills. Anyway, and not good. Not the Chris Matthews tingle up the leg chills either. Mr. Horowitz goes on to say Barack Obama is an enigma. He won the 2008 presidential election, claimed to be a moderate and wanted to bring Americans together and govern from the center. But since he took office, his actions have been far from moderate. He has apologized to foreign dictators abroad for his sins he alleges his own country committed and appointed a self-described communist, Van Jones, and an admirer of Mao Zedong, to top White House posts. He has used the economic crisis to take over whole industries, and he's attempted to nationalize the healthcare system. He not only attempted, he did it. Him and his Democrat friends did it. Keep that in mind. This is obviously before that. In his first 9 months in office, these actions have already made his presidency one of the most polarizing in history. So we can think back upon that as we're, 30 some hours away from Barack Obama and his regime ending. And I'm going to call it a regime because That's what it was, a regime. The reason why I brought up Van Jones here, because Mr. Jones decided to go and spew out. And Mr. Jones is like, Trump opened the door for disrespect of the president with birtherism. Yeah, that's Van Jones. And he was talking with Wolf Blitzer about it. And we'll see what Van really has to say about it. If I can get this clip to come up.
I have a question.
There we go.
Oh, I just lost audio. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I think I may have lost. Okay, good. So my only question is, it seems to me that there's an irony here that others have mentioned, which is that Donald Trump seemed to have opened the door for this kind of disrespect of the president. In other words, Donald Trump seems to be asking for a respect of the office and a respect of the office holder that he did not himself grant to President Obama. I think it's hard sometimes for people who are liberals, who are Democrats, to hear Trump supporters saying that we should now govern ourselves in a way that Donald Trump did not. How does that land when you guys hear that?
At the end of the day, President-elect Donald Trump said that he is moving forward and believes that President Obama was, if you're talking about the birther issue, he believes that he was born. He believes he was born in the country. He believes he is the legitimate president, and he's moved on. President Obama said he's going to work with President Trump to make everything a smooth transition and make sure that he's successful. I would hope that Democrats, liberals would take the same tone that the president, our current president, has taken on this issue.
Now that's Paris Denard. He is the National Diversity Coalition for President-elect Trump. That's who he's working for right there. All right, that's who's talking right there in response to Van Jones.
When John Lewis, the congressman, says that he would never invite President-elect Trump to Selma, I think that's a missed opportunity. I'm glad Martin Luther King III did not take the same attitude and say, you know what, I don't want to go and meet with Jimmy Kemp of the James Kemp of the Foundation and do that. I don't want to go to Trump Tower and meet with the next president of the United States. I think this is an important moment for us.
I agree with you. This is what I think. I think that you have some missed opportunities on the Trump side as well. When there's no real acknowledgement. Listen, it's not like, a few days after the election, Donald Trump came to Jesus. It took him almost 8 years. And then I think when the Trump people then tell the Democrats, you don't get 8 weeks to digest this, you don't get 8 months, when our guy took almost 8 years to finally admit that President Obama was born here and to stand by that statement.
Okay, so Mr. Jones is out there. Van Jones, a devout, admitted communist, is blaming everybody in the world just for going and trying to rationalize this behavior and angst and just upheaval, threatened upheaval against Donald Trump in the inauguration, and put this smooth transition to power that we are so proud of in our republic. And there's Van Jones going, well, it's their fault. They've spent 8 years saying Barack Obama is not born an American, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe Barack Obama has an American heart, to be quite honest with you, and I've said that in the past. But that being said, Barack Obama could have very easily put this to bed, so to speak, long time ago. But he used it to his advantage. He used it to his political advantage, just as Mr. Jones is trying to use it right now to a political advantage. He's using it to that advantage to keep this narrative going, keep it playing, keep it in the air, keep the divisiveness going. Because Barack Obama could have easily given out a birth certificate, very easily, and it had been done with. That's all he had to do. He didn't have to do anything else. He could have done that and it had been over and done with. But no. He wanted it that way. He absolutely wanted it that way. So to hear these people going, well, this is your fault that people are up in arms against Donald Trump right now because Donald Trump's dared to question his nationality, his birth. Oh, my goodness. Well, Mr. Obama didn't do anything to help himself now, did he? He did it for his own political gain. So keep that in mind, folks. We're coming up on the bottom of the hour here. We're going to have to take a break, and I'm going to try to be on time with the break. So we do appreciate you listening. We're going to take our break. We'll pay the bills, and we'll be right back here on the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back.
Red State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds, and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook, and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-380-2906. That's 800-380-2906. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-380-2906.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American.
Yeah, that's right. American, Mr. Jones. American. Yeah, so, it's poor Donald Trump. It's his fault nobody wants to go to his inauguration. Oh, poor Donnie. Yeah, like I said the other day, Barnum & Bailey's closing down shop, and so is the Clinton Global Initiative. One will go away forever. The other one's never really going away. I think the Clinton Global Initiative will probably just change its name, kind of like Acorn, and then it'll reappear. I mean, because I don't know if you realize it, but the Clinton Global Initiative has about $3 billion with a B, $3 billion. And so, quite a lot of cash there, and they're not obligated to give any of it back. And it's just amazing how Hillary Clinton's not going to be in the White House, not going to have any power or anything like that, and all of a sudden, people just stop giving money to them. Isn't that's just crazy talk? I can't believe it. But yep, that's it. Hillary's and Bill's global initiative will not be helping anybody anymore. So if you have an earthquake somewhere, a massive fire, a volcano explodes in your backyard, don't count on those people to show up and help you out. No. Unless somehow you can change our Constitution or actually give people a way to figure out that Hillary Clinton's not corrupt. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. But let's get back to the disrespect thing about the inauguration. Going to read here a little thing in USA Today. Steph Solis, USA Today, state-by-state list of Democrats who not attending the inauguration. Congressional Democrats may have accepted the outcome of the election by now, and I don't think some of them have, actually. But that doesn't mean they have to like it. Since December, several House members said they would not attempt Donald Trump's presidential inauguration on Friday. The number of Democrats representatives multiplied after Trump's insulted John C. Lewis, a veteran House member and a civil rights leader, on Twitter. Whoa, you can't do that. You can't do that, Mr. Scow. I can't go after Mr. Scow, because he's a civil rights, quote, on Eric Finger's quote, icon. Yeah, John, what have you done lately? But anyway, that simply said they cannot participate. I'm sorry. Some simply said they cannot participate in a ceremony that celebrates a president whose platforms contradict their constituents. Others said they have to save their energies for the Women's March on Washington, where you can go ahead and get some pink, I think they got some pink booties or pink little hats or something. There's somebody's knitting up for that. It's going to be really nice. Nice and toasty warm. Anyhow, the Women's March on Washington. An anti-Trump demonstration scheduled for the next day in the Capitol. Here's a running state-by-state list of which representatives are skipping out. Let's go with Arizona, since Arizona, A is for Arizona in our alphabet. Representative Paul M. Gravala announced on January 13th from the House chamber that he would boycott the inauguration. Instead, he said he will march in Tucson with his constituents. Hey, it ought to be warm. Okay, my absence is not motivated by disrespect. Oh, sure. Anyway, a disrespect for the office or motivated by disrespect for the government that we have in this great democracy. We're a republic. Sorry, you should probably not be allowed back in Congress till you figure that out. But that's my little pet peeve. He said, but an individual act, yes, of defiance at the disrespect shown to millions and millions of Americans by this incoming administration. He reminded his peers that while Trump won the election, he lost the popular vote. He said those who voted against Trump and even those who did not vote because of a dissatisfaction of both parties deserve respect. Thanks. Just stay in Arizona, where you can play in your own little democracy while the rest of us have a republic. Anyhow, California just happens to be the state with the largest number of congressional members. They are going to avoid the inauguration. There's Jared Hoffman. He wrote on Facebook, said he would not sit passively and celebrate Trump's presidency. I do not accept the election results and support the peaceful transfer of power. Oh, no. He says, I do accept it. Okay. He accepts it. But it's abundantly clear to me that with Donald Trump as our president, the United States is entering a dark and very dangerous political chapter. I will do everything I can to limit the damage and the duration of this chapter, and I believe we can get through it. Yeah, we got through Barack Obama, so we can get through this, right? Yeah, come on, people. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for Jared Hoffman. How about Representative Zoe Lofgren, who represents the San Jose area, made similar comments in the LA Times when she told them she wasn't going to attend the inauguration. How about Barbara Lee? She told CNN in a statement that cannot go and honor an incoming president who rode racism, sexism, xenophobia, and bigotry to the White House. Instead, she will be organizing. Representative Mark DeSaliner outlined his reasons for not attending with a video, and I'm not even going into that. I'm going to save this one for last. Maxine Waters, we're going to save that one for last. Okay. Karen Boss took to social media and her consent to decide whether. So she was going to have her constituents decide whether the majority of the Twitter post respondents said no. She goes, I want to hear directly from my constituents. Do you guys think I should attend the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump? Yes or no? Oh, let's go to Georgia. John Lewis. Well, we know what John's already said, don't we? I think he's going to go back to the bridge. Maybe he's going to rewalk the Selma Walk. I doubt it. Thanks, John. Never mind, John. Kentucky. John Yarmouth. He's Kentucky's lone Democratic. I'm just reading what it said. Democratic congressman. I'm sorry. He's Kentucky's lone Democrat congressman. He's not Democratic. It's Democrat. He said in a radio interview that he would not attend. Trump, he said, has embarrassed the office of the president. Really? He's embarrassed the office of the president? I'm sure that his hero Barack then did nothing to embarrass the presidency. I mean, he got a Nobel Peace Prize as he's droning people, sending troops to Poland now. Remember that? Oh, gee. Anyway, he said, after a great deal of thought, I've decided not to attend the inauguration, probably out of deference to my friend John Lewis, who was attacked in a historically inaccurate and insulting way. But more importantly, because I thought about the fact that leading up to an election and up until this weekend, Donald Trump has consistently behaved in a way that has helped destroy a lot of dignity of the presidency, as opposed to what Bill Clinton did to the dignity of the presidency. But we shall not talk about what a Democrat does in the White House. Illinois, Luis Gutierrez, of course, Luis is not going to go, because Luis is worried about all those illegal immigrants that are here that might and probably should go back home to where they're legally citizens of. Congresswoman Chele Pingree, Monday, she's in Maine, so she's in Portland, Maine. President-elect Trump's actions go beyond any kind of reasonable debate and threaten the constitutional value of our country based on Oh, gee. Our country is based on, I won't dignify or normalize those threats by standing by at his ceremony. Ooh. Anthony Brown, former lieutenant governor, was elected to Congress just this past November, is going to skip the inauguration. Way to go, Mr. Brown. You'll have another one in 4 years. Maybe you'll contend that one, okay? Oh, let's go. Oh, John Conyers. Didn't even talk about it because Conyers went through, had to speak through a spokesman. I guess he's just a little head in a jar somewhere now. Keith Ellison, who wants to be the Democrat Party national chair. Notice I didn't say Democratic Party. It's the Democrat Party national chair. Said, I will not celebrate a man who preaches politics of division and hate. I won't be attending Donald Trump's inauguration. Ooh, thank you. Let's go to, let's see. Oh, Marcia Fudge says she's showing solidarity with Mr. Congressman Lewis. Oh, and then we have quite a few more. Oh, there's so many more. We're never going to get through this. You know what? Okay, we won't get through it. Heck with it. We'll just go to a break. It's time for a break, and we'll get back to this in a minute. So let's go to a break. We'll come back. We'll pay some bills. This is Joe Hakos here, flying solo on the Conservative Syndicate. We're glad you're out there, and we'll be right back after the break.
You
can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
And now back to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks, everybody. Hey, again, go to the conservativesyndicate.net and where you can get our archives and check us out and see our panel members, etc. Tomorrow, we should have a couple of nice, wonderful guests on, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be talking Obamacare and maybe some inauguration stuff and that kind of thing. So, hey, just stop on by, go to the website. Hey, you can check out the archives there, and check them out and play them in front of all your friends, and and some of those, those relatives of yours that just don't get it. Hey, you can play it in front of them too, and really get them going, get them good conversation starters going. Yeah, it makes it fun, especially when it's just all in the family. Hey, remember I said, I was going to leave Maxine Waters, that congresswoman from around the L.A. area, around there where John lives. She's not going to go attend Barack Obama's, Donald Trump's inauguration. Yeah, Maxine Waters, congresswoman, she said, she said, I never contemplated attending the inauguration or any activities associated with the real Donald Trump. I wouldn't waste my time. Thank you, Maxine Waters. And the reason why I wanted to bring up Maxine is because she's been so good to us. I just love it when she's out there. She is. If you remember, Maxine Waters was the congresswoman that wanted to go ahead and have the government take over the oil companies. And I don't have the clip right with me right now, but she said, if it was up to her, the government would be taking over the oil companies. So, and we can see where Maxine's mindset's at anyway. But Maxine's she's come out and been a little more vocal about this, since making that statement about she wouldn't waste her time going to inauguration. Maxine has become a little bit more forceful in what she thinks of Donald Trump. And I think we're going to see more and more of this. Mr. Trump ought to realize that he probably doesn't have a lot of allies over in the swampland called Washington, D.C. And I got a little clip here where Maxine is letting everybody know how she feels. And she was on Hardball with Chris Matthews, okay? And this was, I believe it was Monday, this past Monday, so 2 days ago. Here's Maxine Waters, and Mr. Matthews asks her about, the conversation. You'll be able to figure this out pretty quick. So here we go with Maxine Waters and what she's calling for here.
California, who also plans to skip the inauguration. Also joining us is Republican strategist John Brabender. Congresswoman, let me ask you about that. I guess there's two issues here. Is Trump going to be a legitimate president of the United States, actually president of the United States, or not? And are there questions about what role the Russians played in this election? I personally believe they're separate questions, but do you?
No, absolutely not. And I think when John talked about him being illegitimate, he really was talking about the fact that the questions are still out there about whether or not the Russians did play a role in determining what happened in our elections. And also, I think John was talking about there are going to be more investigations to determine whether or not Trump or his advocates, people associated with him on his staff in the campaign, whether or not there was some collusion, whether or not there was exchange of information, whether or not they were strategizing together. And I think that's what he was trying to describe.
Now, let's just go over that just that little bit, because this is going on for a little bit. But she rambles on for quite a while, so I want to go ahead. She was asked if he's a legitimate president. And I don't think she thinks he is a legitimate president, because she thinks the Russians played a role in determining what happened in our elections. With absolutely no proof, none whatsoever, she's out there making that statement. And she won't stand up to it. If you ask her about it, have her put her hand on a Bible and swear to the truth, she'll deny it and say that's not what she meant, and she'll hem and haw and obfuscate. She wants to know whether or not Donald Trump or his staff on the campaign, whether or not there was some collusion, exchanges of information, and whether or not they were strategizing together. And she's saying that's what he was trying to describe. He being this John individual. Let's see if I don't know. I don't have it here. Who was on the show with her, but he was a Republican strategist on at the time. I do recall that. So I'm watching this, and it's like, oh, really, Maxine? So you're wondering if there's any exchange of information or collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians. Never mind the collusion between Hillary Clinton and the Russians on the uranium one, Rosatom uranium deal. No. The collusion of Donald Trump and the Russians. Let us go on.
Other people are trying to talk about this, democracy, and whether or not once you question whether someone is legitimate, that you are questioning whether or not the democracy works. And people, don't want it to be that you are deciding that somehow the electoral system doesn't work, the democracy doesn't work, etc. He's really talking about this unusual occurrence where, in fact, we know that the Russians played an important role, and they tried to support Mr. Trump, and they tried to make sure that Hillary Clinton didn't get elected. And so I think that's a legitimate discussion.
So she thinks that's a legitimate discussion. Let's see. Let's go with the words again. Let's see. Other people are trying to talk about this democracy and whether or not, once you question whether someone's legitimate, that you're questioning whether or not the democracy works. Well, we're a republic, not a democracy. If it was a democracy, then Hillary Clinton would be in the White House going, hey, I want that over there and that over there. And Barack, you can just get out of here now and take your wife with you because I'm moving back in. That's not happening. So you're going to have to get over it, Miss Waters. Oh, anyhow, people, don't like to decide and don't want it to be that you're deciding that somehow the electoral system doesn't work, the democracy doesn't work, etc. Really? Well, the republic does work, and the electoral system was working. But this next statement, he's talking about this unusual occurrence where, in fact, we know that the Russians played an important role, and they tried to support Mr. Trump, and they tried to make sure that Hillary Clinton didn't get elected. In fact, we know. So you think that's a legitimate discussion? I don't know, Miss Waters. You have facts that nobody else has? Really? That's really. That's just amazing that you do that. That's amazing you have facts that nobody else has. Even Barack Obama said today at his press conference there are no facts that pointed to that. But yet, you're not going to let this go because you can waste America's tax dollars with all your investigations doing this. And you can keep the narrative going and just muddle the waters and make it harder and harder to have this country get anything done. That being said, Maxine, I'm not done with you yet. We're going to have to go. It's the top of the hour. We're going to have to pay some bills. We have the Networks Edwards Notebook coming up, top of the hour commercials and the break, and then we'll come right back. And I'll get back to Maxine Waters and her display of so much fun. So, again, Joe Hakos here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back.
If a group of black Chicago thugs beat up and torture a white guy who supports Donald Trump,
Who in their right mind gives a rip if the thugs hated their victim or not? Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, the last time I checked, you, myself, and every other American have unalienable rights, which include the right to choose who to support for President of the United States. Our unalienable rights come from God and cannot be obstructed by an abusive government or knuckle-dragging thugs. You have the right to live for your own sake, not according to the will of criminals in or outside of government. It was unbelievable to learn that Chicago law enforcement officials struggled to charge the thugs because they couldn't discern if it was a hate crime.
Hate crime! Hate crime! Hate crime!
Well, who cares? How about assault and battery for starters? The thugs even had a female cheerleader who recorded those imitators of vicious chimpanzees. I don't care if those black thugs hated their white victim or not. Throw the bums in jail for a long, long time and let them sort out how they feel for decades behind bars. I'm Ron Edwards.
Blowing away the myths and revealing the truth. You can continue to blow away the myths with Ron Edwards on Facebook, Twitter, and theronedwards.com.
History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them their potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
I think the big problem this country has is being politically correct. I've been challenged by so many people, and I don't frankly have time for total political correctness. And to be honest with you, this country doesn't have time either.
Yes, political correctness is out. American exceptionalism is back, ready to re-empower our republic as one nation under God by restoring our unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, with your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet, baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers!
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your hosts of the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
That's right. You guessed it. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Hour number 2 today. Glad you could be out there. Glad you're here with us. We always appreciate you listening. We know you have other things to do, and we do appreciate you being out there and joining us. So that being said, let's move on a little bit. At the last segment of the last hour, I had was playing a little clip of Maxine Waters, and I hadn't even got to the good part, but Maxine was, no uncertain terms, she knows the Russians affected the election of 2016 and Donald Trump's election. She knows that she knows for sure that the Russians were going to make sure that Hillary Clinton didn't get elected. And she thinks that's a legitimate discussion to have. Well, if you think that was the best part of her little interview with Mr. Matthews, Chris Matthews, no relation to John, by the way, okay? So just keep that in mind. Anyhow, that's not even the best part. I mean, we're just getting to the best part. And so let me get this back up here again, because this is in the middle of the clip here. And let me see if I can find this now.
California, who also...
Hold on there. Let's see if this is about
In
right.
fact, we know that the Russians played an important role, and they tried to support Mr. Trump, and they tried to make sure that Hillary Clinton didn't get elected. And so I think that's a legitimate discussion.
So she thinks it's a legitimate discussion. That's where we left off at. So she knows the Russians did it. She thinks that Donald Trump's deeply involved. She thinks there's collusion between Donald Trump or his campaign or somebody whose last name begins with a capital T, and it was on TV sometime, were deeply involved with the Russians and stopped Hillary Clinton from being elected. Had nothing to do with Hillary Clinton, I don't know, having an illegal private email server in her bathroom. Had nothing to do with keeping national security items, documents on such said server, giving people access that didn't have the proper clearance on that server. Oh, I don't know, the Global Clinton Initiative and all its fun, the fact that she lied about Benghazi. None of that had nothing to do with Hillary Clinton losing. Oh, the fact that Hillary Clinton was falling on left and right. How about the fact that Hillary Clinton was so arrogant and thought that she would win that she didn't have to go to states like Wisconsin and campaign? How dare her? She didn't have to go there. Those people will vote for me. How dare they not vote for me? They're going to vote. Don't they know it's my turn? Yeah. So that's what Maxine's thinking. There was so much set in stone that it had to be somebody else. Had to be the Russians. Just had to be. But no, she doesn't leave it there. We'll continue with Miss Waters now.
Well, let's talk about where that leads to, Congresswoman. You've raised a good point here. I guess for you it is important. If we find out that somebody on behalf of Donald Trump was on the phone or in email relations with somebody in Russia or the ambassador to America from Russia, and there was some sort of, as you call it, collusion, then what? Does that make Trump subject to impeachment? What do you mean by not legitimate? Just generally what you mean by the term.
Well, here's
if you find out there was a connection, there was collusion, your term.
Well, here's what I'm trying to get to. If we discover that Donald Trump or his advocates played a role in helping to devise strategy, if they're the ones who came up with crooked Hillary, if they're the ones who came up with she's ill, something's wrong with her energy, and the way that he basically, described her in the campaign, I think that is something that would put the question squarely on the table whether or not he should be impeached.
Really? So, if we discover that Donald Trump or advocates played a role and helped devise a campaign, this is a presidential campaign, and somebody might actually go out and devise a strategy to go against the person you're running against. Oh, my goodness. You mean like Harry Reid did when he said Mitt Romney didn't pay taxes for thousands upon thousands of years? Or Mitt Romney had his dog tied to the back of the family cruiser, and the poor little guy just couldn't keep up. That kind of strategy? If they were the ones that came up with crooked Hillary, no, hell no. Crooked Hillary? Are you kidding me? Hey, if Hillary Clinton wasn't so damn corrupt, there wouldn't have been any crooked Hillary. Jeez. If they're the ones that came up with she's ill. Oh, yeah, Hillary. Over at Ground Zero in New York, collapsing on her own. Donald Trump made her do that. The Russians made her do that. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Is there something wrong with her energy? And basically described her campaign. Oh my goodness! That should put that question squarely on the table. Whether or not he should be impeached. Are you kidding me? Oh, what? That would be me going, are you kidding me? But Matthews, though, on the other hand, goes.
So you think you can have an impeachable offense before you take office, in other words?
Well, I think that at the point that investigations discover and can confirm and document any of that they had a role in helping to strategize, they had a role in attempting to determine the outcome, that in many ways they used the information that they got from the DNC when they hacked into our emails, etc. If that was used against Hillary Clinton in some ways, yes, I think that's impeachable.
Yeah. So before he's president, Donald Trump did not brush his teeth the right way, so that's an impeachable offense. Oh, that's right. He's not president of the United States yet, Maxine, so you're just out on a witch hunt right now? Gee, what a smooth transition of power we were having with you Democrats. So lovely. You people, you just amaze me that you're doing this. This is just so much amazement. I find it hard to believe that you people were out there doing this. No, I don't find it hard to believe. I find it easy to believe. It's what we come to expect. He won the election. The Russians had nothing to do with it. You had a flawed candidate. The most flawed candidate we've ever seen. You guys lied, cheated, and stole just to get her to win the nomination of your own damn party. And you're out here going, Donald Trump should be impeached because we don't like him. It's basically what you're saying. We don't like him, so we want him impeached. Hasn't done anything. High crimes, misdemeanors. And you know, Maxine, guess what? I hate to break this to you. He's not going to be impeached. He's got a Republican-led House and a Republican-led Senate. And that's not going to happen for you. You're going to have to get over the fact that you, the Democrat, and your friends no longer hold the halls of power right now. In so many places throughout the land, as a matter of fact. You're going to have to get over it. Because that's just the fact. You're going to have to get over. Remember? I remember 8 long years ago. Sit down, shut up, elections have consequences. Pretty much that's what it was. Thank you, Mr. Ryan, for telling us about whatever it is, but elections have consequences, and we're not going to go that route. That's what it was to work together with Republicans when the Democrat was in charge, Barack Obama. So now it's like, oh, we got to impeach. Yeah, okay, fine. Bring that on. Bring that on. Bring it on all you want. Keep on going. You're going to find out that this will not work out very well for you or the rest of you Democrats out there. The American people have had enough of this. It's shown quite boldly. You look at the map. You see enough red on that map of the 2016 election. That should tell you something. The few centers of leftism that you have on the East and West Coast. Okay, fine. And that one in the middle, in the Midwest. Okay, great. Those inner cities are exactly what Trump said they are. And people were willing to give him a chance to change things. And as I said before, that's all we've been given is a chance. Are we going to hold him accountable? You're darn skippy we are. You're darn skippy we are. All right, we're coming up to, we got a short break. We're going to do a short break here, pay some bills, and we'll be right back after the short break. Joe Hakos here on the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back.
There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. TheConservativeSyndicate.net, the adults in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them the potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Joe Hakos here on the Conservative Syndicate. Oh, yeah, just enjoying it. Getting back in the swing of things here. I'll get my rhythm by the time John gets back. I'll have it done, and then John will be taking over again, and I'll lose it all once again, so it'll be okay. But let's enjoy ourselves while we have it. I hope John's getting some rest. That's a long flight, and so I just hope he's getting some rest. As he said yesterday, he doesn't get any rest on an airplane. For some reason, he can't sleep on the airplane because the Navy scared the crap out of him when you talk about. So the news of the day, part of the news of the day, besides Barack Obama having his final presser, was the commutation of Bradley Manning. Yes, Bradley Manning. They want to call him Chelsea. And unless you can show me the chromosomes have been ripped out of his body at a cellular level, it's still Danny Man. Yeah, Bradley Man. Bradley, yeah. So anyway, that was the news today. But, Mr. Obama has been using his executive authority quite a bit lately. And I'm going to go into a little piece written by Edwin Moore yesterday at Breitbart. No, 2 days ago at Breitbart. My bad. 2 days ago. Outgoing President Barack Obama has transferred prisoners from the U.S. military detention center in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, to Oman on his way out of the White House. And I like how this is being done here. Barack Obama has skirted rules every step along the way of his administration. And you can stand there and say he's proud that his administration has not been rocked by scandal. Well, it's not been rocked by scandal because of the people he stood in front of today, oohing and awing and gawking at him and going, isn't he the best? Isn't he the greatest? They were like that his entire presidency, his entire run-up to being the president. If he was vetted properly, he'd have never been president. Straight up. His past associations. There's no way he would have been president if he'd have been vetted the way he was supposed to be. If the press had been doing their job. But I digress. Back to the article here. As of 10:30 a.m. Monday morning, the Pentagon had not announced the transfers as it has consistently done in the past. And actually, it's written in the law. They're supposed to do it. Anyhow, the identities and nationalities of the prisoners remained unknown at the time. Nevertheless, the government of Oman announced it had received the 10 jihadists, saying in a statement it responded to the request from the Obama administration and acted out of consideration for the men's humanitarian situation. So now we're all humanitarian, like, for these jihadists down in Gitmo. Because, you know, they were just out wandering around the battlefield and got mixed up in this thing, and they don't know how they ended up fighting against U.S. troops. Yeah. I guess not. At the request of the Sultan of Qaboos and the U.S. government for a solution to the question of Guantanamo detainees, 10 of these detainees arrived today in the Sultanate to reside here temporarily. The state-controlled Oman news agency, ONA, quotes the ministry as saying, Oman, which sits on the eastern edge of the Arabian Peninsula and is bordered by Saudi Arabia and war-ravaged Yemen, has been ruled by the Sultan Qaboos Sin Sayed since 1970. Obama's recent move reduced the Gitmo prison population down to 45. That's 45. Compared to 242 who were still held at the facility at the start of his presidency. On January 5th, the U.S. announced the transfer of 4 Yemeni prisoners to Saudi Arabia. Remember this. Now, Obama vowed to shut down Gitmo during his election campaign in 2008, but he met bipartisan resistance in Congress. Maybe he also found out that maybe there's bad people in there. These aren't just angels. Remember? But, you know, he was able to get rid of, 5 with the Bergdahl deal? You know, we get 1 traitor and we give you the 5 back. You know, it's like their all-star team. Remember that? The White House conceded on January 5th that Obama would likely release more prisoners from Guantanamo before the incoming Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump, takes over on January 20th. Various news outlets reported that Obama is expected to reduce the Gitmo population to nearly 40 before he leaves office. Well, he's only 5 away. You know, and I'm sure they're all just angels. They've been sitting there. They've been learning how to knit. They've been learning how to go ahead and play soccer. They've been learning how to go ahead and trim their beards nicely. And they've been learning how to, not only knit, but to weave their own prayer rugs. I'm sure that's what's been going on at Gitmo. Because these people are they've been rehabilitated. They're never going to come back out on the battlefield and fight for Allah anymore. Josh Earnest, the White House press secretary told reporters on January 5th, I am not able to speak to any specific detainee transfers between now and January 20th, other than to confirm for you that there are likely to be some. And whenever those transfers take place, once they have been completed, we announce them publicly. And that will continue to be our approach through January 20th. And my expectation is that there will be some additional announcements of that type. Yeah, that was on the 5th of January, and 10 days later, well, I guess that was an announcement of that type took place. However, neither the Pentagon nor the White House has yet to announce their recent transfers to Oman. The Daily Mail reported earlier this month that President Obama plans to release Gitmo jihadists who have threatened to behead and bomb Americans. Nice people. Yeah, I can't understand why they're down in Gitmo. President Obama is planning to transfer at least 22 additional Guantanamo Bay detainees out of our military detention center before he leaves later this month. Daily Mail has learned, noted the news outlet. You notice how we have to go to the Brits to get some news? Isn't that amazing how that works out? The group being released will be drawn down from those held at Guantanamo, who included an accused senior al-Qaeda bomb maker, the terror group's top financial manager, and 2 intended 9/11 hijackers, all who have been held in the Cuba-based U.S. detention facility for more than a decade. But Mr. Obama says we must let these people go. We've been holding on to them for too darn long. And I said as a campaign promise in 2008 that I had to close down Gitmo. You won't let me close it down. Well, since you won't let me close it down, I'll just empty the place out. The world will be much safer, right? These people are all rehabilitated. I mean, gee, I'm sure Al-Qaeda, senior Al-Qaeda bomb maker has found another skill to do something with his time in there since he's been in Guantanamo Bay Detention Center. I mean, the top financial manager, I'm sure he's probably going to be a financial analyst and advisor to people so they can go retired. You know, maybe he'll help out the bomb maker and his financial management and get him a retirement plan. Maybe that's what he'll be doing since he'll be spending some time together in Oman. Yeah, these are the best of the best. I mean, for crying out loud. Wow. It's just a continuation of more of what we can expect from Mr. Obama. He has been quite a busy guy. You know, the Stuxnet leak source. Remember that? Stuxnet? He's an activist among the 273 people Obama commutes and pardons. This was done, this is a thing from today, all right? With less than 72 hours left in office, President Barack Obama has commuted a sentence of 209 people, including Chelsea Manning. No. Bradley Manning. Bradley. Hi, Bradley. Hi, Bradley. And pardoned 64 people, including retired General James Cartwright. This is a tweet here. Chelsea Manning's prison sentence largely commuted by Obama after 5 years. Chelsea Manning, Bradley Manning, is one of the 209 prisoners granted commutation today by President Obama. Ooh, Cartwright, general, retired, pled guilty to lying to FBI about conversations he had with reporters related to the Stuxnet program, a classified U.S. hacking program that used viruses to attack Iran's nuclear program starting in 2009. Cartwright was due to be sentenced on Tuesday, but he'll receive a pardon before that happens. Wow. So his friends, the Iranians, gee, I don't know how they're going to feel about that. I mean, really, because we know Mr. Trump's going to do everything he can to go ahead and get rid of that Iranian nuclear deal. A tweet from Stephanie Wilson. Breaking. POTUS. Obama grants pardon to James Cartwright, 4-star general, pleaded guilty to leaks to media. Here's another. Spencer Sue, HSU, retired Marine General James Cartwright on Obama pardon. This action allows me to continue to work as a private citizen. I love this country. And he probably does more than somebody in the White House right now. But that's not all, folks. Mr. Obama's been very busy. Remember I mentioned Luis Gutierrez? Congressman, Illinois? Yeah. Anyway, also, yesterday, the Obama administration released a list of pardons that also include baseball legend Willie McCovey, He's been in prison since 1995 on tax evasion. And this one, you'll love this one. This is a really good one. I like this one. Oscar Lopez Rivera, who has been in prison since 1981 for being a member of the FALN group that fought for the Puerto Rican independence. Luis Gutierrez says it will be a blessed day when I can walk and talk with my friend, Oscar Lopez, in fresh air, far from prison walls. Really? That's awesome. Should we remember what Mr. Gutierrez was doing? He was bombing, making bombs like Bill Ayers, okay? He wasn't just put away because he didn't like Puerto Rican independence. But Luis Gutierrez cozies right up to these people. It's amazing what this guy's good for. Okay, Luis Gutierrez, Congressman one of these. We're coming to the bottom of the hour, and we got to pay some bills. So, Joe Hakos here at the bottom of the hour, the Conservative Syndicate. We got to pay some bills, and we're going to be right back once we're done paying the bills. Hey, stick with us, folks. We'll be right back.
State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds, and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook, and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call. But I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-380-2906. That's 800-380-2906. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-380-2906.
And now back to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
All right. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Joe Hakos here, Conservative Syndicate. Sitting in by myself. John's having a good time while he's on vacation. Having a good time here. Yeah, and so, before the break, we were talking about Barack Obama and his humanitarian way of letting not... Well, I can almost go along with letting Willie McCovey out for tax evasion. I mean, guy's probably 1,000 years old by now. I mean, poor Willie, he screwed up, and if he's been in jail since 1995, that's a long time for that guy to be there. Probably worthwhile him getting out. But these other folks that he's let out, I'm not quite so sure about, to be quite honest with you, because they were convicted terrorists, for crying out loud. And I know I'm probably pretty right on the right side of this if I'm on the opposite side of Bill Ayers, who was, again, quote unquote, an unrepentant terrorist who would bomb America again if he could. Again, Barack Obama commuted a sentence to FAON terrorist Oscar Lopez Rivera, who check this out, he was convicted of seditious conspiracy to overthrow the U.S. government in the early 1980s. So I guess if you weren't around then and you don't know anything about it, if you were born in the 90s, you wouldn't know anything about this guy. Do you think Barack Obama was just being his all just kind-hearted self again? No. Of course, Bill Ayers, another domestic terrorist, celebrated the move, along with, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio. And, of course, I am reading from my friend Joe Newby's article here on the Conservative Firing Line. Here's Bill Ayers' tweet. Oscar Lopez freed! ! Chelsea Manning out! ! Great news! ! Joy and justice! ! He wants to keep on freeing people, and it's like, yeah, sure, Bill. Thanks. Depending on who you're talking, Lopez Rivera was either a dangerous terrorist who used booby-trap bombs and other weapons, or he was a freedom fighter who became a political prisoner since being convicted of seditious conspiracy and weapons charges. Under Lopez Rivera, FAON, headquartered in Chicago, go figure, and New York, planted more than 3, 5, 10, 20. No, 130 bombs in U.S. cities beginning in 1974. The group's goal was Puerto Rican independence and destabilizing what they called the Yankee capitalist monopoly. Lopez Rivera, convicted and sentenced to 55 years, proclaimed himself an enemy of the U.S. government. Okay. Now, hate to tell you this, but the U.S. government is a reflection of the people that send them there. So you're an enemy of the people of the United States then. Hey, I'm just saying. Okay. Thanks. His North Side Chicago apartment was the bomb-making headquarters for FALN. The FBI found 10 pounds of dynamite and blasting caps in Lopez Rivera's apartment. I don't know. Those aren't mine. I don't know where that dynamite came from. Those blasting caps, I thought they were birthday cake candles. I don't know what those are. Yeah. Ayers wasn't the only one celebrating. Twitchy noted. Hamilton creator and star Lin-Manuel Miranda, winner of every award known to exist, went beyond exclamation points, though, and confessed that he was sobbing over the news that Don Oscar soon would be a free man. He tweeted, "Sobbing with gratitude here in London. Oscar..." No, this is all caps now. Shouting to the world. "Oscar Lopez Rivera is coming home. Thank you," at POTUS. De Blasio also celebrated, apparently unaware that New Yorkers were victims of FALN. Probably unaware, probably doesn't care to begin with, but, that's beside the NYC Mayor, Bill de Blasio, hashtag Oscar Lopez Rivera. Ha sido entuado gracias a POTUS y feliciados en quienes lucharon por la liberación. Incredible! I'm not even going to try to translate. Oh, no, he did translate. Thanks, Mayor Bill. Thank you at POTUS for freeing Oscar Lopez Rivera. Congratulations to all who fought for this day, including Speaker. Really? Are you kidding me? Comrade de Blasio got schooled for his insane tweet. Dave Gray goes, "Hey, DC Mayor, at DC Mayor, he bombed and killed New York City residents, right? That's the city you're mayor of, by the way." I'm sure he knows, but Joe goes, he doesn't care. Twitchy added, FALN wanted to create a free and socialist country. So he and his fellow terrorists had good reasons for setting bombs in the city. Got it? ABC News 7 continued. His sentence compounded in 1988 by a prison escape plot that included plans to murder guards. Over the years, Lopez Rivera became described as a political prisoner, wrongly convicted and incarcerated. Protesters, including high-profile politicians and entertainers, backed in an effort to have him released, and petitions for clemency were circulated and presented to President Obama at the White House. And guess who worked to make it happen? Come on, you can guess. I said his name before. He's a congressman, a Democrat from Illinois. Yes, it's none other than Representative Luis Gutierrez, who thinks we should not have borders, period. Ask him. He doesn't think we should have borders. One person asked, why do Marxists love terrorists so much? I don't know. I just don't know. The commutation. Oh, this is good. The commutation of his sentence is effected on 17 May. Here's a question that Joe asked. This is kind of funny, actually. Will Obama issue a blanket pardon for Al-Qaeda next? It's probably a good question. Probably a good question because seems as he's going out the door, he's going to do a lot of this kind of thing. He's going to do a lot of these kind of things. It's just amazing that he's trying to get away with all this. Just amazing. I just... little over, by this time Friday, Donald Trump will no longer be president-elect. He'll be president of the United States. And that'll be that. That will be that. Now, can Donald Trump reverse the clemency? I don't know the law that well. Seems to be an honest question. Seems to be an honest question. Can Donald Trump overturn the clemency? I know he can overturn the executive orders. But can he overturn those clemency that was just these sentences that were just commuted? I mean, you let out the Al-Qaeda bomb makers, the finance guys, Puerto Rican terrorists. Oh, I'm sorry, one guy's terrorist is another guy's freedom fighter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Whatever, people. I'm just not going to buy into it. Oh, looking at the clock. We got to take a break. We got to pay some bills. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pay some bills. This is Joe Hakos here in the Conservative Syndicate, paying some bills. We'll be right back after we get done paying the bills. Stick with us, folks.
Middle America doesn't have an anger problem. It's got an idiot problem. The Conservative Syndicate, doing our part to eradicate the disease of idiocracy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you have been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
And now back to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Hey, welcome back, folks. Joe Hakos here at the Conservative Syndicate. Remember to visit our website. Check out everything there. Get to download, listen to the archives. Share them with your friends. ConservativeSyndicate.net, where you can get all things good and conservative. Yes. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. That's us here at the Conservative Syndicate. All right. Hey, we're talking about Obama letting all these people out, commuting sentences of terrorists, et cetera, et cetera. And I came across this passage in this little book, Rules for Revolution, Barack Obama's Rules for Revolution. And this was produced. Let me see if I can find. This is 2009. Okay, is the copyright date on this. So I've been sitting on it for quite a while, actually. And you can pull little gems and nuggets out of it all the time. And one of them here. Let me read this one to you right here. This is see if we can equate this to what Barack Obama and Bill Ayers and all his Luis Gutierrez and all their friends are trying to get out of right now. This is you might find this interesting. If the radicals' utopia were actually possible, it would be criminal not to deceive, lie, and murder to advance the radical cause, which is, in effect, a redemption of mankind. If it were possible to provide for every man, woman, or child on the planet with food, shelter, and clothing as a right, if it were possible to end bigotry and human conflict, what sacrifice would not be worth it? Yeah. I think that's part. I think that's part of Obama's justification for doing this. Another paragraph to this. Another reason why radicals believe that their goals justify criminal means is also why they can be relied on to lie, steal votes, and justify murder when committed by their political friends is because they are engaged in a permanent war whose goal is the salvation of mankind. In this context, restraint of means can easily seem finicky. Yes. Maybe that's what we're seeing here. Remember Mr. Smith early in the first hour? We were asking why are we still fighting the civil rights battles when we should have declared victory already? Just the same way they're fighting in the Middle East, because one side wants the annihilation of the other side, especially in the Middle East. When it comes to the civil rights movement, though, some people make a living off of it. And if we declare victory, then what are they going to do? It's kind of like, in a very weird, and I hope you can keep with my weird brain on this one, it's kind of like the March of Dimes organization. You see, the March of Dimes, as I remember, was brought about, and it was brought to its fruition, its inception was the fact that we were trying to find a cure for polio. And then Jonas Salk, lo and behold, found a cure for polio. And so this organization had to move on and live in perpetuity. And so they go out, and the March of Dimes is now trying to fight children's birth defects. Yes, a noble cause, but, they just moved on to something different. And that's what these people do. They move on to something different. Yeah, it's not as nice as the March of Dimes, I can tell you that. You think that Luis Gutierrez's friend is going to go ahead and go back to Puerto Rico, and he's going to be just quietly sit by? I'm all for Congress going, Puerto Rico, step up or get off. I'm all for that. They've had plenty of opportunity to become the 51st state. We have to somehow bail them out, even though Paul Ryan says, no, we're not bailing them out. No, of course not. We're not bailing them out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's the story? Do these guys have a plan? I don't know. Again, from Horowitz's book, the singer John Lennon understood that the end was in fact the crucial missing element in these calculations. You say you want a revolution, according to John Lennon. He wrote, well, we'd all like to see your plan. The fact is that going back to Rousseau and Marx revolutionaries never had a plan. The ones who did and who tried to build utopian communities failed. But the really serious revolutionaries, the ones prepared to burn down the system and put their opponents up against the wall, have never had a plan. What they had, and still have, is a vague idea of the kingdom of heaven they propose to create. In Marx's case, the kingdom of freedom. And in Lindsay's, the open society. In the case of the current left, and see if you heard this one before, social justice. These ideas are sentimental and seductive enough to persuade their followers that it's all right to commit fraud, mayhem, and murder, usually in epic doses, to enter the promised land. But otherwise, revolutionaries never spend 2 seconds thinking about how to make an actual society work, how to keep people from committing crimes against each other, how to get them to put their shoulder to the wheel, how to provide incentives that will motivate individuals to produce wealth. But if there's no viable plan, then it means then it is the means to get there makes the revolution what it is. Each step of the way creates the revolutionary world. What radicals like Saul Alinsky's create is not salvation, but chaos. And presidential disciples of Alinsky, what will they create? Chaos? Seems to be a theme. I think that's what Maxine Waters is trying to create. She certainly doesn't want peace and tranquility. She doesn't want a peaceful transition into power that our republic is so famously noted for. These people would rather have upheaval and chaos. Radicals that they are. Once again, you have to watch what they're doing. We'll have to watch what they're doing. They're never going to stop. Just because Donald Trump gets in the White House and he's going to put his people in doesn't mean these people are going anywhere. They're going to stick around. Just because Barack Obama had his quote-unquote final presser today doesn't mean he's not going anywhere. He's going to stick around and be a thorn in our side for quite a while. I don't know how he's going to act once Donald Trump finally takes care of Obamacare. It's not going to be pretty. Poor guy. Sucks to be him. But what are you going to do when you don't do things the right way? 80% of what he did was through executive orders. Those are going away. The hard part is the Obamacare because it was set in law. That's because he had Democrats helping him. So, That's going to be more difficult to get rid of. But it can be done and should be done. There's nothing in the Constitution says anything about health care. And you can't tell me it's a Commerce Clause issue because that's crap too. There's no way that's in there. And you know better. Anyhow, hey, it's been great to have everybody here today. Appreciate it. Appreciate you listening to us. We'll be here again tomorrow. Same time, same bat channel. We love you guys. We need to have you here. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best in uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, signing off until next time right here at the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.